starting in the name of Allah, the most merciful, mighty and gracious to all. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and welcome to the class of business ethics. Students, in the last lecture, if you remember, we discussed about the corporate and stakeholders. Then we discussed the internal stakeholders and we discussed the external stakeholders. And then in the external stakeholders we discussed the one of the stakeholder, that was environment. Now today we are going to discuss in detail that how corporations are connected with the environment, or how environment is dealt by the corporations. Simply stated, that what is the responsibility of the organization or a company, that how to protect the environment from the pollution. So in this lecture we will discuss about the organizations and environmental pollution. First of all, I would like to explain that what is environmental pollution. So environmental pollution this simply means that world is not a dirty place. Individuals, companies, businesses, productions, it make it clear more dirty. So now when we are talking about the dirty simply means that we are talking about the pollutions, is it? अब गोरा it can be a form of pollution. The picture से सिर्फ so idea clear कर दे पा रहे थे. So when we are talking about pollution, so what does it mean? Why we are saying that pollution means a dirty? Is it? Why it is dirty? Now when we are talking about environmental pollutions, so businesses mostly occur in categorically three types of pollution. One is known as your air pollution, or sometimes it is known as toxic zahrila air pollution. Second type of pollution, that is water pollution, abi gandagi, the fizai gandagi da, is it? The water pollution, abi gandagi. And then we have land pollution, ismaki gandwala. We have some nor pollution, some study, like for example noise pollution, population pollution. Is it clear? Like in delta chekam de, according to your course outline, we are only going to discuss the three types of pollution: air pollution, water pollution and land pollution. Now students, let's start from the first environmental problem, the first environmental pollution, that is toxic zahrila air pollution. What it says, it is the combustion of coal and gasoline and fossil fuels like diesel, petrol in cars, vehicles and power plants. Toxic air pollution, the way simply, so why air pollution occurs? Kala hum staso fiza, when your air, atmosphere, it is contaminated, dachi kala gandashi, just because of what? Just because of the combustion. Combustion simply mean the burning. The burning of what? The burning of coal, the burning of koila che zogal che vartavayu, and gasoline, different gasuna, and fossil fuels or zehरीला fuels, मतलब तातो diesel and petrol che kam da मोटरों के vehicle के for example burn कीगी, and that will definitely observed into the air. And then just because of their combustion, just because of their burning, the air becomes polluted. Yeah, in other words, we can say that air contaminated on the various fossil fuels and the combustion of coal and gasoline and different toxic, let's suppose the gases. So then we can say that air is contaminated. So air chikam de aha polluted shwala, ganda shwala. Ab zaka zawaya much that is dirty. More people are killed by air pollution than by traffic crashes. Now common होने खबर है, you research दा हुई चुगुरा हादसे चिकम दे अगर ट्रैफिक न ज़्यादा हादसे चिकम दे सचो अगर air pollution न खलक बढ़ेगी. It means that air pollution, this problem is more serious than traffic crashes problem, according to one research. Ab we have a proper definition of air pollution. It simply says the presence of one or more contaminants in the atmosphere. Contaminants mean zahrila mawad, is it? In such quality and for such duration as is injurious, dangerous, threatful or tends to be injurious to human health or welfare, animal or plant life. मतलब چې کله هم څه زهريلا مواد هغه ستاسو فضا کې یو خاص کوانټیټي سره صحیح شوله انوالو شي او هغه کوانټیټي چې کوم دی یو ټایم سپینه پورې پاتې شي which become dangerous for the human health, for the animal health and for the plant health, for the plant life. Simply then we can say that our air is now dirty air. It means that in our, for example, country or state, the air pollution is started or the air is contaminated. आसान concept है, मतलब that is a difficult concept नष्ट है چې مطلب دی کې داسې دغه کوېسچن یې ډېر سمپل غونې کانسیپټ دی بیا د موږ سره واټر پولوشن اب واټ از واټر پولوشن when toxic substances زهريلا مواد enter lakes streams rivers oceans and other water bodies they get dissolved or lie suspended in water ګوره کامن غونې خبره ده چې کله هم لاست ډسکشن هم موږ کړې وه if you remember we have the different manufacturing industries like cement industry, plastic industry, cloth industry. That production they have different production stages, and then they use a variety of different types of chemicals. And when they use these chemicals, they want to discharge these chemicals clear into the rivers. So when these harmful chemicals discharges into the rivers, into the lakes, into the streams, into the oceans, so water become contaminated. اوبه چې کوم دی هغه خراب شي دا نلکو کې راشي صحیح شو نالینو کې شي نو ځکه زموږ چې کوم آب دی هغه ورسره خراب شي this result in the pollution of water and the quality of the water definitely deteriorates مطلب خراب شي ګنده شي صحیح شو بالکل بیکاره شي اب ګوره واټر پولوشن یو ریزن چې کوم دی دا سیلاب هم دی چې کله کله طغیاني چې کوم دا سیلاب چې کوم دی صحیح شو دا دوره زیات راشي چې دا کم فور ایگزامپل ویلې وغیره دي کنه هغه کې چې کم اوبو دي صحیح شو هغه بره شي نالې چې کم دي فور ایگزامپل هغه بره راشي هغه ډکی شي او دا اوبو چې کم دي دا مکمل ایریا اوبو چې کم دي هغه خرابه کی او دا اوبو چې کم دي صحیح شو د سیلاب اوبو چې کم دي کوش اورګنایزیشن دا کوي چې موستلی غړ غړ پیپونه وغیره چې کم ګندګي فضله ده صحیح شو هغه د سیلاب اوبو کې توې کړي نو یو وجه واټر پولوشن دا سیلاب هم دي صحیح شو چې دا مکمل اوبو ډایرکشن چې کم دي هغه مکمل ختم کی Then we have some oil spills. What is oil spills? Oil spills is a like diagram explain come on. What we have oil extracting companies. Most of the oil extracting companies they basically dig out oil from the ocean. Samandar na chikam de sin na chikam de they oil robasi. No taasu pata da چې کله هم oil تشولا when you company want to extract the oil you have to extract the oil in the middle of the ocean. sin تشولا center کې بس the oil robasi. کله هم د oil چې for example crude oil دی ته وایي صحیح شوله خام د کله هم خام د crude oil چې extract کیږي by the companies نو دوی څه کوي دوی shipment کې different ډبو کې استي صحیح شوه cities دپاره کمپنو دپاره فعلا refinery process دپاره نو الته چې دا کم ډبې دي دینه د oil چې کم دی دا تویږي ساحل منم تویږي په beaches منې هم تویږي صحیح شوه and it will also definitely صحیح شوله drill into the water as well نو ګوره چې واټر کې کله تویږي نو واټر بیکم کنټیمینیټډ چې کله ساحل باندې تویږي صحیح شوله نو دا کم چې بیچز دي اټ آلسو بیکم کنټیمینیټډ نو یو خدا دا چې اوبه ورسره ګنده شي بله اوبه کې چې څوره هم کریچر دي څوره مخلوق دي هغه هم ورسره مړېږي نو that is simply known as oil spills. Oil spills simply means dropping the oil from the oil tankers. صحیح شوه دې ته موږ وایو oil spills. نو یو خدا دی صحیح شوله واټر کنټیمینیټډ وجه سیلاب سیکنډ دا دی ستاسو oil spills صحیح شو دا هم ستاسو واټر کنټیمینیټډ کوي اب over a billion people 1 in every 5 on earth have no access to safe and clean drinking water دا یو ریسرچ دی ریسرچ دا وایي چې بلین اف پیپل موږ سره داسې دي چې هغوی ته پاکې اوبه نه میلاویږي د څکلو دپاره اینډ جسټ بیکاز هغوی ډېر وجز دي هغوی ډېر وجه دی یو وجه دا دی صحیح شوله ارتکویک زلزله هم یو وجه کیدی شي اکثر داسې دي in mostly for example د زلزله کوم ځای کې راشي صحیح شوه هلته چې کوم د واټر وینز دي دا مکمل چې کوم دی دا مکمل ختم شي یو خو دا دی چې هلته د اوبو قحط راشي totally صحیح شوله the veins of the water will be abrupted and there is a lack of water the deficiency of water یو دا خبره ده second اکثر چې ازمکه when it gets shakes صحیح شوه کله چې دا for example جټکه واري نو دا کم چې واټر وینز دي صحیح شو انډر د ارث دا ټول څه شي دا ټول مکمل خړی شي او الته چې کوم اوبه دي ادي سکلو نه اگین صحیح شو اوبه چې کوم دي هغه خراب شي دینه علاوه industrial wastes when they discharge their waste into the rivers into the streams again water becomes contaminated سیلاب floods صحیح شو اچانک flood چې کوم راشي سیلاب it also contaminated the water no there are oil spills it also contaminated the water اوس ما تاسو explain کړ نو research وای چې millions of people billions of people صحیح شو they have no access they have no for example reach to safe and clean drinking water so the reasons can be the waste dumping څنګه چې ما تاسو ته وې for example sewage drainage نکاسي سیستم مطلب for example دا کورونه چې کوم نالینو سیستم دی صحیح شو دا چې کوم د غټي نالو کې سي او دا چې کوم د بیا مخکې دریاب کې سي سین کې سي دا هم یو ګندګي ریزن دی صحیح شو واټر and use of chemicals like pesticides in agriculture لکه څنګه چې څوک د زراعت چې خلک څوره هم په فصل باندې سپری کوي نو that spray is basically what that is pesticides صحیح شو دا دغه څه ورته وایي دا pesticides مطلب دا موږ ته کیړې وایو صحیح شو حشرات چې ورته وایي حشرات کوش چې کوم دوايي ده صحیح شو دا بیسیکلی اټ از ا پویزن دا یو زهر دی نو دا زهر چې کوم دی په دې باندې سپری کوي ان صحیح شو دا چې دا فصل کې مراشي او دا سپری چې کوم دی صحیح شو اټ السو ډیفینیټلی ډرینیج انټو د واټر Now these are the different reasons. Just because of these reasons, صحیح شو we have the hundreds of reasons, billion of people they don't have the access clear to take or to drink safe and clean water. Technical دغه نشته دا خاص صحیح شو چپټر چې تاسو ته نو ګوره دا یو طرف ته چې کوم دی دا سپری لګي کوي دینه هم واټر پولوشن کریټ کیږي صحیح شو بل طرف نه دا چې کوم اویل سپیلز دی چې څنګه ما تاسو چې ګوره کله هم فور ایگزامپل دغه کوي ایکسټریکټینګ کوي صحیح شو اویل وغیرہ روباسي نو پاسه نه پی وینځي صحیح شو یا ټینکرو کې اچي نو ټینکرو نه چې کوم دی هغه مین تویږي او بو نو ځکه دیٹ از سمپلی نون ایز ا ریزن اف یور واټر pollution دې سره واټر پولوشن تاسو زیات کیږي then we have sewage drainage مطلب نکاسی سیستم نکاسی سیستم simply means صحیح شو that the drainage system of the houses the domestic uses صحیح شو مطلب کور کې مونږ چې څوره هم فلشز وغیرہ یوز کوو صحیح شو څوره هم چې لوخي وغیرہ انځو صحیح شو ظروف وغیرہ چې څوره وینځو دینه علاوه چې کم باتینګ کیږي صحیح شو دینه علاوه قالین شوی چې کم کیږي گاډي چې کم وینځي کورونه چې کم وینځو we are using the different detergents is it the soaps it also contains the chemicals نو دا ټول چې کوم ګنده مواد دي دا نالینو په تھرو باندې صحیح شو غټي نالې ته سي that is known as the sewage drainage system نکاسی system so it also clear abrupt the water quality which deteriorate the water quality which damage the water quality अब the effects of water pollution such effects see pollution are not only devastating to people but also to animals fishes and birds څنګه چې ما تاسو وې چې ګوره دا pollution چې کوم دی if either it is air pollution either it is land pollution or either it is water pollution what type of pollution we have the صرف اور صرف صحیح شو harmful خلقو د پاره نه دی it doesn't mean that it is only harmful for the people human factor only it is also harmful for the life of animals for the life of fishes for the life of creatures inside clear the ocean and the birds as well so polluted water is unsuitable for drinking یو خدا دا اول نقصان چې ډرینکینګ د پاره ناٹ سوټیبل دی او بره اګریکلچر د پاره هم ناٹ سوټیبل دی ګوره نن سبا موسٹ اف د سرویس تاسو بولیدلی چې هغوی لګي دا وایي چې پلیز پروټیکټ یور ایر اینڈ واټر ریزن که اف تاسو چې کوم واټر پروټیکټډ نه دی is it so definitely your agriculture land will get affect so شو دا هم ورسره خرابېږي no that is the adverse effect clear of the water pollution अब that is the rate the percentage of pollution in various countries دا صرف یو تاسو لپاره ما آیډیا اخیسته ده چې ټولو نه زیات pollution rate کم ځای روان دی sample percentage of population who do have access to safe water includes countries and population ګوره Ethiopia 18%, Sudan 45%, Mexico 72% and USA 99%. Then we have another type that is known as hazardous land pollution. Simply data munga wele chu land pollution. Hazardous simply mean muzar. Is it threatful, harmful? Ab gora what is land pollution? Gora that is very common. There are common hone khabar hai land pollution it means when your land become polluted چې تاسو land چې کوم دی pollute شي यो खुदा दा एज आई टोल्ड यू कि अचानक च कम अर्थक्वेक दे दिस हम सासो लैंड बिल्कुल डिस्टर्ब ही दिन अलावा फॉर एग्जांपल दा कम च लैंड मुकम्मल स्ट्रोक की सही हुआ मतलब अक्सर बचा सुलीदली च मुकम्मल घर च कम दे सही हुआ अगा राप्रे वजी इज इट दैट इज सिंपली अगेन सही हुआ अ लैंड पोल्यूशन दाम यो रीजन की देशी दिन अलावा द increasing rate of the population च कम दे सही हुआ day by day that is getting increased again land pollution सही हुआ so there are so many reasons cars च कम दे for example again अगुई दिला सा च कम दे land pollution दे सही हुआ आबादी च कम दा construction दा हम यो land pollution reason की देशी is it unplanned construction दा हम यो land pollution की देशी so there are so many ways which can polluted your land as well now only in USA that your book now statement that where individuals and industries threw out 40,000 tons 4 lakh tons of solid waste clear each day which is a great threat to the environment मतलब मगा खबर दा which I told you चिगुरा company च कम दे they basically discharge their wastes उस दा वही according to one survey यो कंपनी दा सिर्फ USA के 4 lakh tons सही सॉलिड वेस्ट चिकम दे द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से कंपनी चिकम दे द फॉर एग्जांपल उबूतवली या लेट्स सपोज क्रश कई सही यो एरिया था अब इट मीन दैट इज अ ग्रेट थ्रेट टू द एनवायरनमेंट नो दैट इज देयर यो थ्रेट दे उस देयर आर सो मेनी causes of land pollution चसंग मसा सो चिगोरा land pollution देयर ज्यादा causes दी सिर्फ only I have mentioned here 2 or 3 causes just to make your idea clear अब if you notice delta Number 1, consumer affluence. Increased wealth leads to increased spending, consumption and waste. Gora, consumer behavior, simply stated. च consumer behavior da way च consumer buying behavior सूरत ज़्यादा ही. No buying behavior बकल ज़्यादा ही कल च अवोई income ज़्यादा ही. When there is an increase in the income level of consumer, definitely there will be increase in the buying behavior of the individual. So buying behavior individual for example ज़्यादगी increase so definitely there will be increase lead in the spending मसरफ पम ज़्यादा कई च मसरफ ज़्यादा कई no definitely consumption ज़्यादगी is it and consumption च ज़्यादगी definitely no waste च कम दे सही चलो आबम गंदगी like initially for example my income was low जमा income च दे आहा कमो so now what happened income कमो no जमा buying for example power हम कमो च buying power कमो no जमा expending हम कमो च जमा expending consumption कमो सही शो no गंदगी में नकी ना now my income is increased सही शो my buying power is increased मतलब पहले च for example माँ रानी ने शोस कला उस चीज़े my income सेवा शो no रज़े के दृसलोर रानीस कमा च रज़े के दृसलोर रानीस कमा no केनम for example दहा कोमा consumption हम सेवा शो वो च consumption सेवा शो no I will definitely throw the canes everywhere no दिसरा गंदगी में सेवा शो Now first of all, our reason there that is the consumer affluence या consumer behavior या buying pattern. Second reason that is urbanization. Urbanization as I told you, chigura increase in the population. Expansion clear of the cities. That cities are expanding. Let's suppose gura cities chikam de आगाज़ ज़्यादा की लगे, सिवाकी की लगे, cities area. सही शो? तासु ये नखपल काबुल उगरी चिकाबुल सूर expand शो. What does it mean? It means that is the urbanization. That conjected of the people, a bunch of the people, they are living together. मतलब पहला खलक डिस्पर्सू उस खलक चदे अगा यौजी मन रालल च यौजी मन रालल सही शो अर्थ अल्ता पॉपुलेशन हम सिवा की लगे कंस्ट्रक्शन हम सिवा की च कंस्ट्रक्शन एंड द अनप्लान कंस्ट्रक्शन लगे सिवा की सही शो नो जक दा वे च urbanization density population density is increasing so जक दा वे च concentration of people in cities increase pollution मतलब खलक च कम दे सही शो अगा साइड एरिया ना सिटी तरालल just to facilitate their lives no ch city taralal सही शो अगा एरियाज खाली शो और दलता pollution च कम दे अगा सेवाशी Well, I would like to give an example. It will make your idea fully clear now. Well, suppose I have a room. Only a single person is sitting in the room under a fan. Is it? So the person will feel definitely comfortable. Is it? Suppose now 2 or 3 people are sitting within a same room, clear, under a single fan. As compared to single person who was sitting in the room under the single fan, now we have 3 people. 3 people, they jism hararat, they carbon dioxide, that will be more. Up to come fan, let's suppose capacity da agaba kamachi. They will feel uncomfortable. लेकिन for example after a while if we have clear 7 to 8 people within a single fan, within a single room, now they people will feel sexual uncomfortableness. Why? Because the area, the room is now congested sexual for these 7 to 8 people as compared to single people. Same is the example of your urbanization, that when people come clear from the surrounding areas to the city area to facilitate their lives, is it the area become, the city become congested, is it, and the atmosphere become unsophisticated, and you clear the individual, the population will feel sexual the suffocation. ذكر دا وی چې urbanization is also sexual a factor چې دا land pollution سیوا کوي. hope inshallah idea به clear دا دوره داسې technical سیزونه دي. Then we have population explosion. More population means more industrialization and more product use. As I told you, Chigura, if there is an increased expansion in the population, the population surah siwa ki, no definitely population explosion sara industries hum siwa ki. Initially, for example, limited people were there, limited industry were there. Population is increasing, so definitely industry is increasing. Industry is increasing, so definitely the production is increasing. सही हुआ? जब production increase कीगी, तो definitely supply हम increase कीगी. जब supply increase कीगी, सही हुआ? No product usage चे कम दे, utilization of the product that will be increased. जब product utilization सेवा कीगी, no बल तरफ तक गंदगी चे कम दा अगम सेवा कीगी. सही हुआ? No that is also a cause, सही हुआ? And that चे कम दे population explosion हम यह वजह की देशी. Then fifth we have industrial activities. Industrial activities, it has a significant impact on environment, like toxic waste, air pollution and water pollution. As I told you, you're going to take the example of that's industry rawale, like a example there kama. Suppose take the example of charm industry, leather industry. If you have seen the come to qurbani, for example munga qurbani uku, sahi hua, or the come che pustakere. सही हुआ दा कम से फॉर एग्जांपल मुंग सरा दा चमड़ा चिकम चरम चिकम दे द जनावर यू हैव सीन दिन चिकम दे सही हुआ डिफरेंट प्रोडक्ट्स जुड़ेगी लाइक फीमेल लेदर बैग्स सही हुआ दिन अलावा मेल जैकेट्स बूटान जुड़ेगी अब फॉर सच चरम फॉर सच लेदर वी हैव सम प्रोसेसिंग कंपनीज दा से कई द डिफरेंट सिटीज ना सही हुआ द लेदर रावली जानता बेदर प्रोसेस कई प्रोडक्ट जुड़ेगी इफ यू हैव सीन द प्रोसेसिंग स्टेज ऑफ दीज लेदर्स these are basically washed clear through some chemicals. They man is khas rakam chemical di bacteria killing chemicals di so these are washing kigi chikala de bacteria killing for example the spray di mani kigi so this water will contaminated into the rivers and da ganda ubu bacteria contaminated chikam spray ubudi so da ubu ki tuigi naleno kisi and that will be definitely drawn into the rivers and your water become contaminated. Totally the quality of the water become deteriorated. That whole mukammal taso adaga khatm shi pollution chikam de sashwa khatm shi comes for example the kigi sashwa process aga chikam de aham taso land polluted al takhaluk ana jana chike sashwa de zyad kami no zaka da which industrial activity chikam de it also affect clear the pollution like for example the toxic waste, air pollution and water pollution. No that is taso told information clear about the pollution. So pollution sarangi ki we have the water pollution, we have the land pollution and we have the for example air pollution. Now in this slide we are going to discuss some environmental laws. Federal government chikam de to protect the environment, federal government introduces some laws. As I told you chagora organizations chikam de they are responsible to follow the commitment of the government. Whatever the government has introduced, they must have to follow. Gora last time माता उसका शुरू किए हुए जो corporation सही हुआ and government यो stakeholder दे external stakeholder दे सही हुआ लेकिन external stakeholder के it has a direct influence clear over the transaction of the organization या companies. So therefore corporation must follow the instructions clear of the government. Federal government introduces some environmental laws that organization companies सही हुआ must follow the organization environmental laws. There are so many laws. A few of the laws we are going to discuss here. Number one, that is the Federal Water Pollution Act of 1972. This law controls the discharge of toxic pollutants into the water. Then we have the Safe Drinking Water Act of 1974 and 1996. It makes standards nationally for drinking water. मतलब simply चोरा हम government द्वारा सोरा हम ओबो पॉपुलेशन त मिलावेगी it must be standardized. صحیح شو دا مکمل سټانډرډایز دا مکمل ټیسټ شوی لکه سپوز موږ سره چې کم کوی دي صحیح شو ګورنمنت کوی چې کم دی صحیح شو ګورنمنت طرف نه چې کم اوبه رسي نلکو کې او دې چې کم اوبه د کم ډګي کې دی اوبه چې یا کم د اوبه چې فار ایگزامپل کم سانه کم کوی نه دا ایکسټریکټ کیږي صحیح شو اټ مسټ بی سټانډرډایزډ دا پراپر ټیسټ شوی نو اوس ګورنمنت لا دی چې صحیح شو چې دا هر یو کمپنی چې دا ټینډر اخلي صحیح شو اب اول د اوبه چې کم دی اب ټیسټ کوي you have to provide safe drinking water clear to the population, and this is just because clear of the commitment of the law, and that law is known as Safe Drinking Water Act of 1974. Then we have another law, that is the Toxic Substances Control Act of 1976, a national policy on controlling, regulating and banning toxic chemicals where necessary. Gora suppose da was for example sir explain kama اکثر تاسو ګوري کنه ټوخي شربت چې کوم دی د کف سیرپ is it cough syrup that contains the different for example compositions دا different composition جوړ شوی اب let's suppose the alcohol چې کوم دی صحیح شو دا چې دی that is banned alcohol صحیح شو دا banned دی لیکن ګوره alcohol یو خاص کوانټیټي چې کوم دی صحیح شو هغه جسم دی لپاره مطلب هغه دوره نقصان نه کوي suppose زه وایم 0.01%. if 0.01% let's suppose alcohol کا یو جسم کې لاړ شي نو هغه ته صرف تکلیف نه چې دی آرام ورکول شي if let's suppose 2% 3% 7% 10% alcohol if our body کې لاړ شي so it will definitely provide us harm اوس organizations company دا وای according to Toxic Substance Control Act چې کله هم یو organization یو company ټوخي سیرپ جوړي ضروري ده it is not ټوخي سیرپ only دا صرف example دی نو ټوخي سیرپ ته پاره you must have to include that clear toxic substance is it alcohol lekin that quantity like 0.0% which is more suitable is it or which is bearable by a body is it no toxic substance sirf da way چې څوره هم چې تاسو سره toxic substances دي ingredients دي صحیح شو باید چې هغه quantity چې کوم دي هغه سیوا نشي چې کوم ځای for example body دي لپاره relaxment کوي دا substances so then you have to use otherwise their great quantity صحیح شو دا به تاسو استفاده نه کوئ Now that was basically the law that where the toxic substances, the zahrila substances, it must be controlled. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. And the last we had the ethics of ecology. What are the ethics? Ethics mean goods and bads. Say shwa? The goods and bads of ecology. And what is ecology? If you notice on the word ecology, ecology. Eco mean earth, logy means study. The study of earth is it अब how companies can protect let's suppose their environment is it that is ethics and this ethics is known as ecological ethics صحیح شو like for example if the production coma is it a production خو the coma लेकिन production سره I have to control my production pollution या air pollution So when I am using some strategies to control the air pollution during my production, it means that my production is friendly. या देना अलावा मुझे दा वेला शमा सही शो कि I am follow the ethics of production या I am follow the ethics of ecology. सही शो मतलब चीज़ production society ता हम गोरमा और बल तरफ ता environment हम ना दखा कोमा pollute कोमा. Is it? So that is simply known as ethics of ecology. So this idea called ecological ethics or deep ecology maintains that environment deserves to be preserved for its own sake मतलब जो organization कोशिश उकी कि environment pollute न की regardless of whether or not this directly benefits humanity अब in this regard organization must follow the green marketing अब what is green marketing green marketing simply I would like to give an example कि नन सबा कम चिदा Pel inverters रागली दी Pel चकम for example inverter ACs I'm talking about is it अब दे मने लिखल शेवी दी eco friendly अब what do you mean by eco friendly eco friendly simply means that your quality da I would like to explain that eco is the energy saving and environment friendly mode of the Pel inverter AC which is the effective way to reduce the power consumption even more it is living attitude for low carbon and environmental protection life Thus, we kindly recommend. صحیح شو نو ځکه دا وایي چې ګوره نن سبا چې کم هم organizations یا کم هم company چې کم product mostly provide کوي صحیح شو هغه لګي eco friendly product provide की. It means that da चिकम ACs दी inverter ACs सही हुआ da डेर कम कार्बन चिकम दे da फिजा के रिलीज की सही हुआ. देना अलावा CFCs चिकम दे सही हुआ da हम दी टोल CFCs दी कार्बन दी फॉर एग्जांपल कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड थे da टोल da सी दी सही हुआ च da सासो दागा environment चिकम दे आहा प्रोटेक्ट की. नो कला हम मैनेजमेंट या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन when they use such type of strategies where they can protect their environment, is it, or they can keep their environment green, such type of strategies are simply known as your green marketing. Deta mungawi simply green marketing. Like a sanga, suppose as I told you che Bangladesh che kam de saishwa aga jute bags che kam de aga prefer kai as compared to polythene bag. Dena ilawa da kam che ICI paint de saishwa da lage lead free paint istemalai सही हुआ. वैसे तासु ता पता दा पेंट की चूरा लेड ज्यादा सही हुआ और ऑक्सीजन रेट चकम दे आगा कमरों की कमी की. So if there is an increase clear abundant amount of lead in the paint, that will decrease clear the amount of oxygen in the room. So therefore ICI they have introduced a new lead free paint. देना अलावा एनर्जी सेवर शुरू के गोरा बल्फुना रागलियो अगोई के नाइट्रोजन हुआ नाइट्रोजन बचे सोरा बर्न किदा अगोई बे गर्मी का वाला ऑक्सीजन बे कमाओ हब्स बे जोड़ करो इज इट बाकी ना पस चले एनर्जी सेवर्स रालू एंड नन सबा वी हैव एलईडीज सही छुआ एलईडी खो यो दादा चे राणाइम खदा गर्मी गिना हीट अप न कई सही छुआ और बला दादा चे एनवायरमेंटल फ्रेंडली दे देना अलावा सही छुआ दा कम चे फॉर एग्जांपल नन सबा चे दा कम टेफ्लॉन्स रागली दी like for example the non sticks चे campaigns दी अक्सर दा फीमेल चे कम इस्तेफादा कई हालांकि गोरा यो तरफ तदा वही सही हुआ चे नॉन स्टिक दे मतलब देखे ये चे कम खाना पीना दा आगा स्टक की गिना आगा बर्न की गिना लेकिन दे नुकसान से दे नुकसान दारे चे दे आर यूजिंग अ टेफ्लॉन इज अ केमिकल दा यो कोट शवी हुई सही हुआ लेकिन दा छोरा छोरा चे टेफ्लॉन गर्मी की खाना गर्मी की दा टेफ्लॉन उम्र तरह खाने की जज़ब ही और दा टेफ्लॉन चे कम दे सही हुआ दा मुंखरू और दा चे कम दे इट कैन बी अ cause of cancer. That basically you never researched about the non-stick pans. Then all these are simply known as the green marketing. That where organization is protecting the environment simply, and they are adopting such strategies that where they can make their production eco-friendly. So when organization adopt the strategies which are eco-friendly, such strategies, such methodology is simply known as your green marketing. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. Thank you so much.